to flipping it. End up in prison the rest of my life for this shit. So my mama ain't want me, she got an abortion, I end up surviving this shit. And if I want a son, I ain't got the money, I'll probably be robbing this shit. Don't know how much I cry for this shit. Said I'm willing to ride for this shit. You know murder's my hobby, inside of my closet's a bunch of dead bodies and shit. Niggas say that I'm cursed, cause I go to church and stare at the Bible and shit. Shorty say I'm the worst, cause I do my dirt, and I don't be hiding this shit. Bitch, I'm a savage, I spit at you bastards, I wonder what you gonna do to me, huh? I need to hear someone rapping.
Serious and Silliness subscribers, today we have a very special guest. The #1 212-pound bodybuilder, Olympia champ, the greatest 212-pound bodybuilder on the planet, Shaun Clarida. What's up, man?
What's going on? It's an awesome intro.
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Good, man. Just taking it all in. You know, it's been a crazy year, 2020, and started off rough, rocky. We weren't really sure what was going to happen as far as the show goes.
Right.
But luckily, everything kind of, turned around, and we had the show happen. It was an amazing turnout, and we came out on top, which was the goal, right? So,
yeah.
And since the show, just every day is just something new. A lot of traveling, interviews, photos, there's a lot going on, and it's an awesome feeling. I mean, it really hasn't, for me, like hit me hard. Like, Flex told me it's gonna hit me hard one day. It just really hasn't stuck it in for me. Because I'm back in the gym training, so I'm in the gym. I'm just kind of going about my daily life again.
So maybe this will stick, because I was actually just doing a little research, and I'm like, how many 200-pound Olympia champs have we had in history? Yeah. And if you want to include Franco Columbu and Frank Zane, that'll make 5.
Yeah.
So you're in the company of Franco Columbu, Frank Zane, Kevin English, David Henry, Flex Lewis, and you. Yeah. That's some pretty damn good company to be in.
It's crazy, man. I mean, this is always the goal. That's what everyone works for, dreams of. But for it to kind of happen, it's just, on stage, I just lost it. It was just.
I watched it. I remember, sure.
Yeah, tears of joy, happiness, relief.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. It's still emotional. I watch the videos today, and I still get emotional. I still cry because it's overwhelming.
Besides the traveling and whatnot, has your life changed in any other way?
Not necessarily. I mean, I still have the same sponsors, same team. Just a lot more, trips coming up. I'll be at all the local NPC shows for Steve, and in the local area. Mm-hmm. It's really just traveling. I mean, I've been to Texas. Then this week we're going to Vegas. Then I'll be in Arizona. Then Pittsburgh.
Is it guest posing? Is it
just appearances? So
okay.
In Texas, I was shooting gas. Goes out there twice, and then Flex Lewis has his grand opening next weekend, so I'll be out there supporting him. And then I'm doing a podcast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And with Dennis James in Arizona for the Olympia committee. Just a lot of, I love it. Honestly, I love traveling. I've always loved traveling. One thing I don't like about it, because it throws me off my plan a little bit as far as training and food, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, you got some time as far as prepping for the Olympia goes. Are you going to do it like that? You just going to do the Olympia from here on in?
I said, I've done all the other shows, the New York Pros, the Dallas Pros. I've done those shows, and it's been great. I said, once I get to the point where I've won the Olympia, that's going to be the focus going forward. Just focus directly on winning the Olympia every year. A lot of people are kind of against guys doing that. But for me, I feel like in order for me to be my absolute best on stage, I need to focus 365 days on that one show.
Right.
And coming to one show, undeniable. So.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I mean, that is, you've reached the pinnacle, and your job is to stay there now.
Exactly.
So why concentrate on anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I can still travel to show, like the New York Pro, for example. I'll be out there with Steve and the athletes. I can still go to the shows and watch. I don't have to be on stage.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was great doing those other shows. I love them all, but this is always the goal. Yeah, those were all steps toward getting to the Olympia and winning the Olympia.
Right.
Here, I don't want to go backwards. So I need to get 100% just to every year to win the Olympia.
Sure. So I want to know what made you get into bodybuilding. Were you a bodybuilding fan as a kid?
No, I knew nothing about it. Wow. I think I was like 13, 14. I had my first magazine was like the fitness magazine. I just wanted abs, to be honest with you. I didn't care about the muscle.
Yeah.
But I was a wrestler in high school. And, I still weight trained. I wasn't into bodybuilding still. I still didn't know what I was doing. But it wasn't until college. I was still wrestling for college. And the coaches kind of forced me to get into the gym to kind of train and get bigger and get stronger.
Sure.
And that's when I met a guy named Tom Garuba, who was an old school 70s bodybuilder. He had seen me train one day in the gym, said, "Hey, you have a great physique. You ever
Who was the bodybuilder you met?
Tom Garuba.
Mm,
He's a local guy from Trenton. I don't think he ever turned pro or anything. He just,
oh,
I just loved the team.
all right.
But he came up to me and said, "I have a great physique." He showed me all his videos and kind of helped me like train for a local show. And
Mhm.
3 months after meeting him, I did my first show, which was in 2005, the Mid Atlantic in New Jersey.
Mhm.
And from that day forward, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, this is what I want to do. And I
Right.
was absolutely fascinated by the whole entire process of getting ready for the show, being at the show. So I went back to my coaches. I quit wrestling right then and there. And I just pursued the bodybuilding thing full time.
What show did you turn pro at?
The 2012 NPC Nationals in Georgia, Atlanta.
What were you, a lightweight, a bantamweight?
I was a bantamweight. So the year before, 2011, that was my first national. I was 138 pounds, 33 pounds, something like that.
You were 138 pounds
Yeah,
in
I got
2011.
smoked. Like I got like last call out, dead last. Like I wasn't
Really?
even. The year later, I came back. I was literally 143 and a quarter on the dot. I just made weight, and I ended up winning the division, the bantamweight class.
That's pretty impressive, man. Like you came back out of nowhere in 1 year and won the whole thing. That's pretty damn
Yeah,
impressive.
it's pretty crazy. I mean, I remember like yesterday, like when I didn't place, I was like pissed off and I got back home. I kind of got back to work, got back to training. And I said, I'm coming back next year. I'm going to win the show. So I ended up doing 2 shows locally before that to qualify. I did the NPC East Coast where I was still lightweight because I was still overweight. I had gotten much bigger from 2011. So I had to cut weight to make bantamweight. So I
Uh,
ended up doing lightweight at the NPC East Coast where I won the class. And I did the Gold Classic as well. I ended up winning that class there as well. And I ended up sucking down to bantamweight for the Nationals. And that's when I turned pro.
what's the weight difference now? I mean, you were 138 in your first national level show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how much did you weigh in your first show period?
Well, that was my first national show. My first national show was actually Team Universe in 2011. I was 128 pounds.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
And
So
when you won, go ahead,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I competed naturally with the WNBF for years, man. I was always like, I mean, my first show was 118 pounds
Wow.
in 2005. So year after year, I would put on 3, 4, 5 pounds here and there. So I was never like dramatically bigger. I just put on a few pounds every single year. Like kind of what I'm doing now. So when I turned pro, I was 143 and a quarter. To now, the Olympia, I was 177 on stage.
And you're 177 this year?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
It's amazing. You think somebody 177,
Yeah.
you throw that number out, and you go, okay, and then you see you with no shirt on and your posing trunks,
Mm-hmm.
and you go, how is that 177 pounds?
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, you have God-given genetics. Nobody has shape like you. Like literally nobody has shape like you. Like maybe, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass.
Yeah.
Maybe Sean Roden, but your back is better.
Yeah.
You know what? Like in my opinion, your back is better than Sean Roden, and you have kind of the same type of genetics, and your biceps are better.
Yeah. So like I feel like my physique from like the earlier years were more so like a Flex Wheelerish. And I feel like more now I'm more like almost like a Phil Heath kind of 3D look to it. To the muscles.
You definitely have that 3D. There is one short video, I don't know if it's on YouTube or Instagram, where you're pumping up in the background.
I knew you were gonna say that way, yeah.
And I remember I was flipping through my phone, and I showed it to my nephew, and I was like, "Look at this," and he's like, "Jesus Christ." Yeah, that's definitely true. You have that 3D, like that massive pop, that every bodybuilder wants,
Yeah.
Did you have any bodybuilders whether it was while you were competing that you were inspired by, anybody that you looked up to or anything like that? Or maybe...
For sure. Dexter Jackson all the way.
Oh yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's a legend. Dexter was like,
I mean, he started like me. He was a bantamweight, you know.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
He heard the same thing, that he was too small, he would never make it, yada yada yada. And then look at him now. He's one of the best bodybuilders in the world, you know, the most winning bodybuilder of all time. So
one of the best bodybuilders that ever stepped on stage. Are you kidding? He was
seriously,
guy's a legend. Unbelievable.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, it's you know, bodybuilding, you need to be big, but that's not everything.
No.
You need to be big enough.
Yeah.
That's about it. But no, absolutely. I mean, Dexter, who do you think is in the top bodybuilders ever?
Like best of all time? Greatest of all time?
Yeah, top 6, top 5, top 6. What do you think?
Dexter, Ronnie, Flex, Shaun.
Flex Wheeler or Flex Lewis?
Wheeler.
Okay.
I like the old school guys, man.
So do I.
There's nothing against the new school. I just kind of grew up watching the old school guys.
Yeah, me too.
Flex, Wheeler, Shaun, Ronnie, Dexter, Lita Brada.
Yeah, Lita Brada was very underrated.
Brada.
Yeah.
Obviously the original giant killer Danny Padilla was phenomenal back in his day.
That's right. You know what's funny? I had this conversation with a friend of mine who turned pro. His name is Anthony Delaventura. He's actually doing the New York Pro this year.
I know. Yep. I know.
Yeah, he's a good dude. And we were talking about best in the world, and he gave me his. And the one person that I personally feel everybody looks over, because it's best bodybuilder ever.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I pick, Arnold, Lee Haney, Dorian, Ronnie, Dexter, Phil. You got to put Iris Kyle in there.
Oof, yeah.
I mean, nobody. I don't even know how many Arnold Classics she won. She won 10 Olympias.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to stick her in there.
I don't think anyone does, because she's a woman's bodybuilder, so they don't think about it. But
exactly.
Sure. She was a freak back in the day, man. Freak.
Oh yeah, she's unbelievable. All right, so Matt Jensen's training you, right?
So Matt does my diet and nutrition, and John Meadows does all my training.
John Meadows is blowing up in the last 2 years or so. He's training Samson Dowda. He trains, I think he trains Fuad. I think he trains Guy now, as far as in the gym. Guy Sistanino, rather. He is blowing. And Matt Jensen is another one, as far as the nutrition and the chemistry is just. It's what's funny is it seems as though every few years, bodybuilding has a couple of top trainers that are kind of in your face. For a little while it was Aceto and George Farah. Right. And then it was Charles Glass for a little bit, and now it seems to be Matt Jensen and who's the guy that trains Hollingshead? I forgot his name. I don't remember his name. Peter. Right. Yes, Patrick. Yeah, right. It seems to be those. I don't know why, but it's they seem to come in and out. But
yeah, I've been with Matt for 5 years, and I've been with John for 6 years now. So, I just found out it works best to kind of I see a lot of guys coach jumping. And it's it's not going to happen in one show. It may not happen in one season that your body is going to get adjusted to the coach. He or she can know your body. It takes some time to learn that stuff.
Right.
So now Matt and John know my body inside out, man. They can, train me, prep me with their eyes closed at this point.
Right. Yeah. What do you attribute such great gains from? Do you attribute it to his style of training, or is it just consistency and time, or what do you attribute it to?
Yeah, for sure. It's consistency and time. But also for me personally, it's not having to think. Because when I was younger, I was always in the gym what should I do next? Or what should I do more of this or less of that? It was always, I was in the gym for 3.5 hours back in the day. Now with John's program, it's literally 4 or 5 exercises. I mean, on paper, you look at that's it. When you're going through it and with the actual motion, with the drop sets or however you had you doing it, it's taxing as hell. And it
I
works.
can imagine.
And his biggest thing is recovery and like health of the joints. So he doesn't have me do anything that aggravates certain areas. Like I don't deadlift, I don't do barbell rows. We don't do anything that really taxes the elbows. He's very he's very health conscious when it comes to the knees. So there's not really a lot of poundages when it comes to like the heavy stuff, like those things, like deadlift, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's learned my body, like I said, and he knows what exercises particularly work for me. And the best thing about John is everything he throws at you, he's done himself, and he knows that works. So he's not just making shit up out of the blue.
Yeah. That's well, you obviously don't need the tremendously heavy weight banging anymore. I mean, you have enough size. It goes without saying. Mm-hmm. How are you able to, because it's a lot of guys' problem, how are you able to put on that size without blowing out your stomach? Because I mean, how big is your waist? Honestly, was it 27, 28 inches?
I mean, I didn't measure it, but I would say like 28, 29, maybe, if that.
Yeah. So how did you go about, because I got to imagine you have to eat a lot of food.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But like, it's crazy because that's one thing I manage all year round, especially during prep, is we do core work every single day after cardio. Mm-hmm. Whether that's obliques, lower abs, upper abs, middle abs. So we work on that constantly. I make sure to Matt knows what foods work for my stomach and what don't. So, for example, a lot of guys like steak, like that's a bodybuilder's meal, right? Mm-hmm. For me, it doesn't work. I don't digest it properly. It just sits in my stomach and it bloats me out. Mm-hmm. So we do nothing that bloats my stomach. Everything's easily digested. This way, my stomach's kind of just relaxed the whole entire time.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because I think a lot of guys, like you're right, they shovel in the food, they shovel in the steak, and they just probably just pound away at it. I don't know if you ever saw. I'm sorry.
Gut health is important as well. So we do a lot of probiotics.
Yes.
Digestive enzymes, things like that to help with that.
Okay. Good. Because I remember I saw this. I guess it was an interview or a question for Dave Palumbo, and he was talking about how he used to put on all his weight, and he told that I don't know if you ever saw it, but he told that story about what kind of shakes he used to use.
The metrics.
And then the metrics with the dozen eggs and so on and so forth. And then he told the story where he threw it all up. And I'm like, and then I was like, oh my God. I mean, if you hear him describe it, it's disgusting. He used to put the eggs in a microwave, a dozen full eggs. And I was like, oh God. But I guess to get that big, that's what you need to do, right? I don't know.
I don't think that's necessary, but
I think in the 90s it was a little different. In the 90s, nobody was really worried about your stomach. I mean, I remember I had told this story to, I think, Samson Dowda. I remember going to the 2001 Olympia, and I was such a fan of bodybuilding. I wanted that big stomach. I wanted to be massive with the big stuff. I did. And I remember going to 2001 Olympia with my friends, and I saw Craig Titus. He wasn't competing in the show. He was just sitting there, signing autographs and meeting people. And he was sitting there. He was sitting there. His stomach was so big that it was like literally on his lap, And I'm like, I remember like, it was almost back then. It was almost like a badge of honor having that stomach, Yeah, I know. It was 90s were like crazy times,
That wouldn't work today.
Yeah, no, definitely not. That would definitely not work today. Since we're on the subject of food, my wife actually wanted me to ask you this. What's your favorite cheat meal?
Pizza and ice cream.
Yeah. Do you have any particular place you go with pizza or any?
I mean, my girlfriend's going to hate me for it, but I like the basic Domino's, Papa John's, stuff like that. Personally, she as a full-blown, Italian, she thinks it's like not real pizza.
Yeah.
For me, I tried Italian pizza from a restaurant here and it sucked.
That was
the last time I would ever.
It's you got to be choosy. You got to know where to go. I'm sure your wife does.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty funny. What do you think of when you hear a lot of these older guys? It's kind of like dying out now. But you hear a lot of the older legends talk about how the new guys don't train as hard and don't suffer as much and so on and so forth. What do you think about when you hear that? What's your thought process behind that?
I just had this conversation with someone the other day about literally the same thing. And I just tell people it's different eras. Like, it's like technology. When technology is better, things get better, right? So I think that today, us bodybuilders have a lot more access to different programs and training styles, and we don't have to be in a gym banging away. Like, again, I don't do the basic stuff that Dorian did. I don't do the heavy deadlifts. I don't do the barbell row. Like, I don't do any of that stuff, but my body is still able to progress. And again, I have the knowledge of John, who is able to create certain programs for me to target those areas without hindering an injury.
Right.
I think every era is going to think their era is best. Let's be real.
Right. That's right.
Unless you're Dexter Jackson, who lived through 3 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, again, I think the guys today do train hard. I think the only issue is guys do it. Certain guys do it for social media versus doing it for
I can see that. I can see that happening. Yeah.
Like, for me, I have social media because it's like part of what I have to do. But for me, I don't post hey, look at me. I do it more so to kind of help guys out.
Yeah.
Like, I'll post certain movements that kind of like, hey, maybe you should try this out if you're having like issues. And I'll explain it in my videos. But a lot of guys, man, they do it for the likes. Like, you'll never see me in the gym with my shirt off. I'm rarely in a tank top. One time I'm in a tank top is doing photo shoots or videos for a company. But yeah, I mean, that's the only difference, man. I mean, guys do train hard.
That's that old school mentality. The sweatshirt is the old school mentality. The biggest guy in the gym back then used to always be in a sweatshirt. Yeah. That's right.
I literally have my large baggy sweatpants, 3X t-shirts every single day during prep. And as I get closer to the show, I actually wear big hoodies, 3 or 4X hoodies. That for me, that's just comfortable. I'm comfortable to move around in. I don't like people saying, hey, look at me. I don't do it for that, So, but that's how I've always been, though. Even when I came into the sport, again, 15, 16 years ago, I trained with the old school guys, and that's how they dressed.
Right.
My friend Robbie, he was wearing sweatpants and Timberlands in the gym.
Yeah.
And baggy sweatshirts. Like, oh, that's how we dress. Cool. Let's do that. Let's go. Yeah. So that's kind of how it's always been my way of dressing when it came to training.
No, that's an old school mentality. When I lived in New York, I used to go to one of the gyms I went to was Pump and Iron Gym in Staten Island.
Yeah.
And the owner, Paul, I think his name was Paul Wagner, he was a monster. I mean, he was huge, and he always had a sweatshirt. In the summertime, he would have a sweatshirt with like the 3/4 sleeves. That was it.
Yeah.
You never saw anything, But that was the mentality today. Like you said, with social media, and I think it's a little bit of like just being a young guy. They want to flex their muscles and whatnot, and
Of course.
Speaking of young guys, what young guys do you like coming up, especially in the 212? I mean, for the 212 is stacked.
Yeah, I'm seeing everyone's tagging me in certain people's pictures and video. I mean, it doesn't faze me. I don't know why they do it, but there's a lot of good guys. I mean, Keon Pearson's one.
Yes, Keon, it looks amazing.
There's a guy, Angel Calderon. I think he looks phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a bunch of guys, man. They're all great bodybuilders. It's just a matter of who brings it the day of the show. That's really all that matters.
Is there anybody whether it's young or old or been around or coming up that scares you, that goes, oh, I got to watch out for this guy?
No, I'm not scared. No. I'm not scared of anyone. I've never been that guy.
Yeah.
No.
What about in the open? What young guys in the open do you like?
Yeah, this sucks. Can't even think of anybody at the top of my head.
Well, I'll throw some names out. You tell me.
Hunter Labrada, maybe.
Who?
Hunter Labrada's coming up.
Hunter. What's strange about Hunter is he has that old muscle, but you being so young. Like, he looks like he's been training for 15 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's like such a young dude, like that hard, grainy look to him.
He's like 26 years old, something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. What about, let me see, Nick Walker? He's a big one. He's like everybody's favorite now.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to seeing what Blessing looks like. Blessing Awodabu, I think that's how he pronounces his name.
He's better than me. I don't know how to say it.
Because the pics that I see online, he looks amazing. I can't wait to see him on. I think he's doing the New York Pro or something like that. I can't wait to see what he looks like on stage.
It's been a battle. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's gonna be like a rivalry between him and Nick Walker. They go back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna win. I'm not picking anybody. It just matters the day of the show.
I would have to believe that an older bodybuilder that's been around is going to win. Because you don't know who's going to jump in to qualify.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If Hakeem Williams decides to do the New York Pro, then it doesn't matter what Nick or Blessing do. You know, it's a
I
wrap.
said the same thing. I mean, and I love both these guys, but again, you got to realize if someone else decides to jump in, like Justin Rodriguez,
It's a
who's
wrap. You
a
know.
veteran, like I'm
Yeah.
not, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. Um, I would really like to see what Blessing. I'm sorry, not Blessing, but Samson Dowder does, because he has another guy with great shape.
Yeah, freaky shape, freaky as hell.
Amazing shape, small waist, really great shoulders, great flare to his legs and whatnot, sweep to his legs. He looks fantastic,
One guy I like too, I don't know if you know who he is, he's from the UK, Mark Hector.
Mark Hector looks amazing. He has like the same thing, his small waist. Yeah, he looks great. There's a lot of guys coming out of the UK. A lot of guys coming out of the UK and the Middle East.
Yeah.
A lot of
Middle East, forget about it, man. They're just.
Who is the guy? I forgot his name. Who competed last year? I think Aceto trains him, and they wound up getting hemorrhoids, and he had a
Hassan Mustafa.
Yeah, if he comes in shape,
yeah,
like he was like 90% on last year. If he comes in, I don't think any. I mean, that guy is just freaky huge.
He's thick.
Yeah,
and he's short too, which is great. He's in Florida right now, training with Flex again.
Oh, really?
He's in Florida right now. He said he might do not Florida. I'm sorry, Vegas. He was saying he might do the New York Pro, but conditioning wise, I don't think he'll unless he ramps it up the next 8 weeks. I don't know if he'll be ready for it, but yeah, he's got so much muscle.
He's doing the New York Pro too.
That's what he speculated. He said possibly.
Yeah.
He had posted.
He said, you don't know if these guys decide to do it, as great and Nick and Blessing can be. I mean, the show's gonna be stacked. These shows last year and this year, they're stacked because they're trying to stuff everything in this COVID related world so they can get everything in. There's
gonna be a lot more guys jumping into these shows because there's only so many shows to qualify now.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, there's no question. So ever since you won, and you're like the 212, but you are the 212 Olympia.
Yeah.
Let me see, how can I say this? Have you come across any jealousy or maybe new friends or maybe those let me see, how do I say this politely? Gold diggers.
If anyone knows me, I keep my circle very small. I don't bring in new people. There's been tons of people throwing idea. Hey, maybe we should try this. Let's do a photo shoot, or I have this company that's doing X. Like, no.
Yeah.
I'm very particular about the companies I work with, the people I hang out with, the people included in my circle. Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. I have the messages I get. As far as the haters, there's people like, of course, they're always talking shit about being, Kamal is better than life. Kamal is better than me. Yada yada yada. It's like, or the guys coming up. Oh, this guy's gonna smoke Clarida and all this other stuff. I'm like, all right. Like it doesn't. The thing is, it doesn't faze me. I see it, but it doesn't get my attention. Yeah. It's not gonna get my attention, and that's what they want. They want to get my attention. It's not gonna happen. Right. I mean, I've learned to just look at it and just keep moving, man.
Yeah. You know what social media has done with bodybuilding is, in my opinion, social media has done to bodybuilding what other sports have been going through with things like radio and TV for years, and that's being criticized.
Oh yeah.
Right. Bodybuilding up until social media didn't really have an outlet where people criticize or the Monday morning quarterback or whatnot. And for a little while it was like, and still there's an adjustment period. And I've seen a few bodybuilders like really freak out, over people that have podcasts and YouTube channels saying, giving their opinions and whatnot. I remember, and I remember William Bonac went crazy on that Canadian guy a few years back. And that he looks like a rough dude, William Bonac. It looks like a guy you wouldn't want to mess with. Yeah. But that's something that, I guess the new pro athletes, you got to get used to because, Peyton Manning was and Eli Manning were dealing with that for years, on Sunday morning radio, Monday morning radio,
I expected it, man. I mean, you come to the territory again. I mean, I've seen many champions go through it. Flex Lewis has dealt with it. Phil has dealt with it, and I expected it for it to happen. I mean, it happens every day. Like,
but you're one of the smarter ones, because some of them, some of the bodybuilders get down in the dirt with them. It's like, no, don't sling mud with them. You're what they want to be. Just ignore it. Ignore it. You're the star. You're the champ. You just ignore that nonsense.
Yeah, and like again, like whatever. No matter what you say or do, you can't take away that I've won. That's point blank.
Right.
Like, did I get you back? Okay, cool.
No, that's all right. You're good.
Yeah, like, no matter what you say or do, it's not going to change the fact that I won. That's
there are some bodybuilders that get in there, and I'm like, why? Why would you do that? Like, just leave it. Just let them talk. You're still the best in the world. Or you're still in the top 5 or top 10 in the world. These people, most of the people that criticize or have podcast channels or YouTube channels would love to trade places.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm a bodybuilding fan since I'm 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I would, I just didn't have what it took to be a pro bodybuilder. That's just God's honest truth. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. I got one more question for you, but I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh shit.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. So back in the day, if you're a hardcore bodybuilding fan, back in the day, like during the Schwarzenegger's day and 70s into the early 80s, you had the under 200 pounds and the over 200 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then the under 200 pound, Olympia champ and the over 200 pound Olympia champ will battle out for Mr. Olympia. And a couple of times the lighter guy won, right? Franco Colombo and Frank Zane would beat the bigger guys.
Yeah.
So if they had that today, how do you think you would do against Big Ramy?
I was looking for a different question, but I think I'd be comparable. I mean, I'd lose, I think, on size. But
you think?
Yeah. And again, like you said, you have to have enough of everything. He's got enough conditioning. He's got enough symmetry. He's got way more size. I think they would favor him more. I mean, let's be real. They always favor the bigger guy. Right. But I wouldn't get blown out the water. The only thing that he would have for me is size, I believe. Conditioning matches up pretty well. Presentation matches up well. Structure. But he was just big on size. I mean, I was honestly waiting for that to happen. Because people were talking about it before the Olympia, and we had a new owner, Jake Wood.
That's right.
They were going to spice things up this year, so I was like, well, shit, maybe they'll do a open 212 pose down like back in the day.
Yeah.
So we were waiting for it. I was hoping that would happen. But unfortunately, it didn't. But maybe one day, hopefully next year.
You never know. We might actually see that come to fruition. Yeah, you never know.
It's not even for like title. I think it'd be more so for the fun for the fans, man, or the supporters.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And maybe give like a People's Choice Award. I mean, you're not going to take away the title of Mr. Olympia. Maybe give like a People's Choice or maybe some extra money or something to the winner or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
but more so it'd just be fun for fun.
You think Ramy's going to hold on to his title?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's only going to get better from here. Now that Dennis and Chad have a plan and they know what works or a game plan, I think they'll just get better with that. Same thing with Matt and John. They've been with me for 5+ years now, and every year we've gotten better together, better and better and better. And now we have the secret. We know what the plan is.
Right.
Same thing with Dennis, Ramy, and Chad. They have the game plan down. They know how to make it work, and I think he's only going to get better from here.
Yeah, if that's the case, I don't see anybody beating him. I don't see anybody beating. He has been inconsistent in the past, but like you said, he might have found the guys in the formula to keep it.
Exactly. And that's all it takes.
So now that you're achieved Mr. Olympia or Olympia 212 champ, what are your goals now? Do you have any future goals?
I mean, obviously the main thing is to create a legacy like Flex did and continue to win the title for as many as I want, as many as I possibly can achieve. And then more so, once retirement starts coming around, I don't see that happening anytime soon. God willing, I stay healthy, I stay safe, injury-free. Dexter's 51, and he was doing it. So for me personally, I think I'll be 38 or 39 come September.
Okay.
I want to keep going until, close to 50 as well, personally.
All right.
I'd love to achieve as many titles as I possibly can. The one benefit I have on my side, whereas a lot of my competitors don't have, is the fact that I'm never probably going to hit 212 on stage, within
That's
that
true. That's true. Yeah.
A lot of these guys are just barely making 212, so they're getting forced to the open.
That's
I'm
right.
just, I'm never going to hit I'm not going to say never hit 212, but it will never be a struggle to make 212 for me. So I can stay in this class for as long as I need to or want to, personally.
Right. All right, dude. 212 Olympia champ. I am gonna let you go. I really appreciate you doing this, bro.
Nah, no doubt, man. Anytime.
And good luck to you in the future. And I think you're gonna hold on to it. I think the only time is my opinion. I think the only thing that's gonna beat Shaun Clarida is Father Time.
Yeah.
I don't think with your shape and symmetry, and again, we used to have these conversations in the gym.
Yeah.
With your shape and symmetry and balance and conditioning, I mean, yeah, the guys might bring size, but it's about it.
And it's not even about,
Especially,
and I've beaten big guys. I think I've beaten these guys. I've beaten bigger guys.
yeah.
You know, and it's not like I've beaten, disrespect. I've beaten like I forgot a guy's name, but he was like, all these guys are 212 on stage, if not heavier on stage. So it doesn't matter that I'm only 177 pounds. People see that, they think, oh, he's definitely gonna get smoked. Right. But again, it's just a matter of just, again, like have the structure, the shape, the consistency with training, getting better, improving. And that's the goal every year for me, is not to focus on hitting a certain weight on stage. It's to improve certain areas. So even though I have the title, I know there's areas that need to be better and will be better. And we're working on that right now to ensure that come October, we'll be a whole new bodybuilder once again, maybe 3, 4, 5 pounds heavier than I was this previous Olympia. So as long as I'm able to do that every single year, again, stay healthy, stay injury free, the titles, in my opinion, the title's not going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah,
I completely agree. If you could stay injury free, and it sounds like you're doing it with John Meadows in your corner, training right. Like I said, I don't think anybody's gonna touch you for a little while, man.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan.
Dude, thank you once again. I appreciate you doing this for me, and good luck to you with everything you do, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Tell your wife I said hello.
All right, we'll do.
All right, brother.